Hello and welcome to the Envision National Youth Leadership Forum Pathways to STEM Post-Enrollment webinar. You will find this webinar most helpful if you are already enrolled your scholar into the Pathways to STEM program, summer 2019. My name is Otis Scales and I am one of the program managers and your host this evening. I joined Envision as a seasonal staff member in 2011 and have been a part of the corporate team since October of 2013. I oversee the programs running in Texas, Georgia, Florida, Pennsylvania, and Washington, D.C. The other managers of the NYLF Pathways to STEM team are Sloan Hayes, who has been with Envision seasonally since 2010 and joined the corporate team in 2017. She oversees the programs that run in New Jersey, Massachusetts, New York, Minneapolis, Washington State, Colorado, and California. Janine McBride, our third manager, started with Envision in 2018 and will oversee the programs running in South Carolina, North Carolina, Illinois, and Ohio. We are thrilled to be a part of the Envision team, helping to provide the best experience for your scholars this summer. I and the entire Pathways team would like to welcome you and your scholar to the 2019 Pathways program. We cannot wait to meet you to begin this wonderful summer filled with STEM adventure. Today's webinar is equipped with a dashboard to the right of your screen. If you have any questions during the presentation, please type and submit them there. We will have 20 minutes of content section followed by a 15-minute Q&A based on the questions received through the chat box. We will have someone monitoring the dashboard as well throughout and will answer your questions throughout the presentation. At the end of the webinar, there will also be a quick survey for you to let us know how helpful this video was to you. Please be honest in your feedback, and we will alter the webinars in the future to better suit our customers. A tidbit of information before we get started with the presentation. At Envision, we use the term scholars to refer to our students. So you will hear this throughout the webinar. This webinar will be recorded and accessible after we are done tonight. And if you are not able to follow along with the screens, please reference the recording in your student portals after the presentation is complete. In today's webinar, we will cover topics that we get the most questions about at this point in the process. We will be covering information relevant to both our residential and commuter participants. If you have topics other than those that we are covering here tonight, don't forget the dialog box to your right and be sure to ask your questions. Write us a note and we will be sure to follow up. On today's agenda, we will be covering how to access your online information, mandatory travel forms, your academic resources, preparing for your program, dress code, meals, other program highlights, your scholar safety and security, and important reminders, as well as contact information. First up is accessing your online information. At this point in the process, you should have already enrolled your scholar and been prompted to create your login information. In order to access your scholar's account, you will first need to visit envisionexperience.com. At the top right corner of the home page, you will see Login. Click Login and the dialog box will appear with two options. Click Enroll Students. You will then be sent to a page with text box to input your login information. Enter your email address and password for your scholar's account. If you forget your password, just click Forgot Password to begin the password recovery process. You can also just go directly to myenvisionexperience.com. You will then be taken to a scholar-specific account page. In the top right of the page, you will click the Enrollment Forms and Info. This will load a page that lists all of the forms available for your scholar. Several items listed on the page are required for attendance at the Pathways to STEM and are deadlines that are linked to these. Please pay close attention to the required items in the top section of your enrollment forms and info page. When forms have been reviewed or submitted, a green check mark will appear denoting the completion. So you will see that with the arrow facing the green pointer at this point. Let's review some of the items within the required forms section. First, there is the important information for arrival day. When clicked, it will provide you with the housing and registration information for your session. Information such as registration and parking details are included. The page will also include information regarding registration times, numbers to call should you have any questions as well. For our commuter students, the same form is there for you. However, housing information will not be included. As a reminder, please remember to revisit this page a few days prior to your scheduled arrival day, as the finalized parking and registration locations are likely to be finalized by that point. Also in the required forms section is the medical authorization and information form. This form is a great place to begin letting us know what dietary restrictions your scholar may have. Once you get to this page, select click here to download form to download and sign the required medical authorization and information form. Once signed, attach the file back to the site and click submit form. Please reach out to Envision admissions team to speak to a staff member about any specific accommodations that may need to be made for your scholar. We work closely with our colleges and universities to ensure that we are able to fully accommodate these needs. Typical meal requests may include vegetarian, vegan, gluten-free, lactose intolerant allergies, kosher, and halal meals. Once again, if your scholar has very specific dietary needs, we highly encourage you to reach out to our admissions team so that we can work closely with the university and college to get exactly the needs you have. Pathways to STEM is a nut-free conference. There are vending machines on site at each location that offers candies and nuts. Scholars are told not to purchase any of these items for the safety of all scholars and staff at the conference. If you have to send snacks with your scholar, please send them nut-free. Given the nature of allergies of our staff and scholars upon arrival, scholars will be informed to turn in any snacks containing or made with nut products to our program office, and they will be returned at the conclusion of the program. The mandatory departure form is required for the residential students of the program, and likewise, the daily checkout form is required for our commuter students. This form will have you provide information on how your scholar will be picked up and who has permission to pick them up each day or at the conclusion of the program. This form is not locked after one submission. After you have filled in your information and need to make updates or changes, you will be able to re-access this form and revise it as needed. You will also have an opportunity to make any additional revisions once you have arrived on site. The form will provide you with departure day checkout times as well as the daily checkout time for the commuter scholar participants. We do require that the person or persons authorized to pick up your scholar have a government issued photo ID to check the student out, and we will not release any scholars to anyone other than the individuals listed on this departure form. The last form listed in the required section is the medication management policy and medication administration form. If it will be necessary for your scholar to take any medication during the program, prescription, or over the counter, please make sure to carefully complete the medication administration form. No medication will be dispensed unless we have a completed form. It is required that all medication be turned in its original packaging and placed in a Ziploc bag with the medication administration form and the student's name written on the outside of the bag. All medications, prescription and over-the-counter once again, will be collected during registration, with the only exception of emergency or rescue medications. All medications will be dispensed or administered by an Envision nurse or any staff designated to do so. The usual time for these is during all meal times and specifically right before bedtime. We encourage you to review both documents thoroughly before arriving to the program site on your first day. There are many other important forms in the preparing for your program section. One includes the housing and registration form, which is the second location within your student portal where you can find the registration and parking information for your session. The form also includes information regarding your registration times, housing accommodations, mealtime information, dietary needs, and departure date information. Day scholars have access to the same form, however, it will not include the housing information. One of the important pieces of information this document includes is linen accommodations. Please review the chart within the document that lays out what sites do and do not provide linen for our scholars. As it stands, University of Houston, Southeastern University, University of Pittsburgh at Greensburg, and Converse College will not provide linen to our scholars. At these specific sites, residential scholars are expected to bring a pack of twin XL sheets, a pillow, a blanket, washcloth, and a bath towel. We also ask that every residential scholar bring their own kit of toiletries for all locations that Pathways is running on. Once again, we recommend revisiting this form a week prior or a couple of days prior to your arrival day, as they will continue to be updated through the month of June. At the program, we make every effort to keep your scholar active and engaged. We want your child to make the most of their time at the program and enjoy the experience the best way they can. As this may be their first time away from home, as it is for many of our scholars, some may experience discomfort or even homesickness. Envision staff strives to make attendees as comfortable as possible from the initial adjustment through the duration of the time at the program. In the Making the Most of the Experience document found in your student portal are helpful tips on how you can best prepare your scholar to fully enjoy the program. This form provides useful tips such as addressing any and all concerns your scholar may have about attending the program and help them understand that these feelings are normal and it is okay. It also tells you to develop a plan ahead of time for dealing with potential homesickness and share your own experiences with them and how they can work through these things. And finally, always be upbeat. Speak positively about the experience. Get them excited about embarking on this new journey. Sometimes scholars from the same school attend Pathways to STEM and would like to be roomed together. Roommates are assigned by gender and age. If your scholar has someone that they would like to room with, also attending the program, please fill out the room request form or on your student portal. All parties must fill out this form in order for the request to be complete. While all sites can accommodate double roommate requests, not all of them can accommodate triple or quadruple roommate requests. This is determined by the dorm that the college or university has assigned our group to be in. If you have questions about whether you can accommodate a triple or quadruple roommate request, please call the Office of Admissions. Rooming requests have hard deadlines of completion as well, so it's important that if you have a request, you put it in as soon as possible. If your scholar needs to make a roommate request for any other reason than being placed with a specific person, once again, please contact our Office of Admissions. Next, when clicking on the Planning, Travel, and Dress Code checklist, it will load a PDF file which lists in detail the dress code and packing reminders you can use while preparing to attend our program. Pathways to STEM enjoys an excellent reputation in our communities as a result of our prestigious scholars. To ensure this continues, all scholars are expected to maintain and provide a standard of dress. The dress code consists of tops and bottoms in solid white, navy, or khaki in any combination paired with casual shoes. Take some time to review the dress code in detail to ensure your scholar is prepared with the proper clothing and enough to last for the week. We also encourage families to label the tags of the clothing that belongs to their scholar to avoid any mix-up with their roommates. It is also okay if clothing brands' logos are not within the solid white, navy, or khaki color scheme. Scholars may wear shorts, pants, skirts, dresses, collared shirts, and t-shirts. We ask that all shirts have sleeves and shorts, dresses, and skirts are an appropriate length. We also recommend that scholars pack comfortable shoes since we will be doing substantial amounts of walking around the campus and will also give them time throughout the day to play outdoors. You will also find information regarding electronic devices usage during the program within this document. As part of the Pathways to STEM program, scholars will be asked to complete a pre-program assignment. We will provide scholars with a unique academic experience that will help develop advanced leadership skills. But before we delve into the summer program learning environment, it is valuable to ascertain each scholar's concept of what some of their career fields are in STEM and some notable figures who have been successful in these given fields. You will find the pre-program assignment in the category Academic Resources. By clicking on Academic Preparation and Pre-Program Assignment document will appear and you can fill out and re-upload to your student portal. Other great resources included on your student portal is Envision's 2019 press release guidelines that contain basic facts about the forum you are attending. Facts that news reporters can use to generate stories about your acceptance and participation in the program if you decide to share your experience with your friends, family, and community. The program leave request form can be filled out if you plan to temporarily check your scholar out during the program. This form will also be provided on site if you are unable to fill it out online. A draft schedule is also included that gives you a general overview of the program schedule day to day. In our code of conduct, it outlines the policy that our students will follow throughout the week while with our program. And finally, the tuition and travel protection plan, our enrollment information agreement, and release form have also been added for your review. Both of these forms appeared when you initially enrolled your scholar and are here for you to review at your leisure. Next, we will transition into program and schedule highlights. Pathways to STEM will be hosting scholars on 19 different colleges and university campuses from across the United States. And this year, we are excited to be extending our footprint to 4 new locations, including Spartanburg, South Carolina, San Francisco, California, Seattle, Washington, and Minneapolis, Minnesota. The Envision Way. We offer different curriculum highlights our program, and our program is made up of a 3-tiered curricular approach for experiential learning. The combination of these events contribute to a holistic experience that will build your scholar's leadership skills, provide career experience, and promote collaboration with like-minded peers. The Academy session will feature curriculum that hones in on one's new developing skills. Our lab sessions will give scholars a chance to use their critical thinking and creative skills to work their way through dynamic simulations. And lastly, in the arena, there will be an opportunity for scholars to present their thoughts and ideas on a platform in front of other scholars, families, and friends. We will delve a little deeper to find out what events take place during each component of our program. Our curriculum allows scholars to explore STEM content through a constructivist approach. Through our hands-on activities, we foster integration of problem solving and research skills through interactive simulations and investigations. Some activities our scholars participate in include 5 core leadership traits that are all the foundations of each of the curriculum components the students participate in. They will begin each week examining the growth mindset, and then will be able to apply it throughout the day through different STEM challenges and activities. Students will participate in a daily leadership lesson that will help them to recognize the importance of their behaviors and the impact they can make on their individual actions. They will learn about the concepts of self-management, time management, communication, and collaboration. Scholars will build on each of these skills throughout the week, and they will end the week by setting SMART goals that can be pursued once they go back home. At the end of the program, scholars will receive a personalized report that captures their leadership goals and grows, and then provides helpful tips on what to do to practice at home to continue to develop and grow their leadership skills. Next, within the 3 STEM strands, scholars will have an experience that is revolved around solving the case of a missing map. Students will participate in hands-on experiments to eliminate suspects throughout the week. And on the first day of the program, they will participate in a forensic chemistry experiment to determine what substances have been left at the scene of the crime. They will recreate and analyze blood drops left at the scene, and then learn how to dust and analyze different types of fingerprints. While participating in the medicine strand, scholars will work to treat injured victims as they learn about emergency medicine techniques with a curriculum created by our partners at Stanford University School of Medicine. They will explore the respiratory system and build a model lung, while also exploring the cardiovascular system with their participation in a beef heart dissection. During the engineering strand, students will explore the engineering design process. They will build, program, deconstruct an MBOT robot. Students will use drag and drop programming to code the robot to go different parts of the island. And they will also explore the fields of structural engineering by building a truss bridge to hold the weight of the MBOT that they are programming. Our 3 STEM challenges throughout the week include bristlebot design competitions, where they will build and race a small robot that they will be able to take home, and they will participate in building and racing balloon jet cars that operate on natural energy resources. Now, let's discuss our important safety and security procedures. The safety and security of our scholars is our #1 priority. We will now go through a number of items to help answer any questions you may have about this. First, our high-level staff selection. Scholars are led through the program and cared for in small groups by trained advisors. These staff members are experienced with students and have undergone extensive training and background checks. The majority of our staff members are educators outside of the summer months and work year-round to provide safe and high-quality experiences to their students at home. Emergency meeting locations. During the first group meeting, scholars will take part in a briefing on the policies and procedures of our program. This will include information on who to contact in an emergency, attendance, off-site safety and procedures, and venue safety protocols. They will also practice the emergency evacuation plan in their first small group meeting. Next, we have name badges. Envision also has several safety processes in place that we teach scholars and ask them to adhere to throughout the program. All scholars and staff must wear their name badges anytime they are outside of their sleeping rooms. This name badge will have emergency contact information printed on the back. After attendance of every group has been made, students are able to utilize these phone numbers at any point to get the attention they need from staff. Next, we have the buddy system. Scholars are required to travel with a buddy at all times, specifically when taking a bathroom break. Scholars will be transitioning to every student event with an advisor or another staff member leading the way. At no point should any scholar be traveling around the campus without their STEM group or with a staff member. And lastly, we have the nightly room checks. Every evening, our scholars are dismissed to their sleeping rooms. Staff will conduct room checks nightly to ensure that all students are in their rooms for the night, and they will also distribute any information important for preparation for the following day's events. Once room checks are complete, scholars are not permitted to leave their rooms until breakfast the following morning. At this time, a staff member will pick them up from their sleeping room and escort them to breakfast in the morning. Next, we have attendance checks. Attendance is taken several times throughout the day, including at meals, at the group meeting sessions, before, during, and after transitioning to a new event on campus, and also before bed. If there is a missing scholar, we have an emergency protocol that begins to locate the child and return them to their group as quickly as possible. Staff ratios. At Pathways to STEM, we have a student to staff ratio of 8:1. The advisor ratio is 18:1. Each classroom will have a support staff member assigned to assist the learning and distribution of needed materials for each lesson. We also have a team of what we call scholar relations advisors. They support scholars' needs in any way. If your scholar is feeling sick, homesick, or needs something during the program, this team will assist them. We hire educators and individuals in the STEM field from all over the country to serve in these roles. Next, we have our emergency phone numbers. Students will receive emergency telephone numbers for our staff that are monitoring the dorms throughout the evening. They can call this number at any time if they need assistance after room check. These numbers will be listed on the back of their name badges and are accessible to them at all times. Staff will also be monitoring the halls to assist any students throughout the night. Next, we have incident reporting. When an incident occurs, our staff spring into action. We will contact you if any incident occurs with your scholar, whether it be behavioral or medical, and all incidences are recorded and reported to the program office. We are involved and informed at every step of the way. We consider an incident to be anything that occurs on program which affects the scholar and is not prearranged per the itinerary. This includes medical issues, weather impacting the schedule, lost items, travel disruptions, and many more things. Incidents may originate on site, or a parent may call into our program office with a concern. Our phones are managed 24/7. So every single incident is documented and follow-up occurs in accordance to our on-site staff and our policy. So parents, I want to reassure you that while with the program, at any time you have any concerns, our staff are ready and willing to take your calls at any point of the day. And lastly, we have our nurses. A nurse will be on site with the scholars during the program hours. We have designated scholar relations staff members to take care of reporting medical needs during the nighttime hours as well. Scholars will have the contact information to reach a scholar relations member at all times of the day and night. And once again, our nurses are on site to assist with all medical distribution as far as medication goes for meals, as well as before going to bed. So to wrap up, before the question and answers begin, we will go over a few important reminders. Please remember to review the making the most of your experience with your scholar to help them be best prepared for this new experience that will test and grow their independence. Please make sure to complete all of the required forms within your student portal account. And once again, if you have any issues or concerns completing your forms, please reach out to Office of Admissions. And also remember, you have the option of getting these forms completed once you arrive on site on your first day of the program. Please work with your scholar to complete their pre-program assignment. And last, but certainly not least, be ready to embark on the adventure of a lifetime. Thank you all for joining us tonight, and we hope to meet each of you and your scholar this summer. If you have any additional questions, please reach out to our Office of Admissions, and they will likely link you with one of the 3 managers that we mentioned tonight. Now I will turn our attention to the questions that have been asked throughout the webinar in the dialog box. If we do not get to your question today, please once again reach out to our Office of Admissions, and someone will be able to respond to your question pretty immediately. All right, so question number 1. Will scholars be able to carry their phones? We do encourage scholars to bring their own phones, as this will be their resource to be able to easily call home in the evenings. But during the day, we will be encouraging scholars to keep their phones put away at certain points of the schedule when curriculum is going. We like to keep our students engaged and on task and want to eliminate as many distractions as possible. So parents, you will have your schedules to reference throughout the day. And so we encourage that if you do want to reach out to your student during the program schedule, our number is always available for you 24/7. Reach out to our staff members and we will be sure to contact your student's advisor so that your student can call you back as soon as they are finished or almost immediately once they're available to chat with you. Can scholars be taken out or checked out temporarily? Yes, parents and family are welcome to take scholars and check them out temporarily. Once again, utilize your departure information form to provide us with a list of all individuals able to pick your scholar up. Once that list is done, at any point you want to temporarily check your scholar out, you can do that in our program office on site. We have a simple form for you to fill out and we will have you sign them back in once you return. We have a question about our pre-program assignment. So once again, your scholars are free to be creative and think as outside of the box as they would like to. We encourage them to research the 3 strands that we focus on here at Pathways to STEM, which include medicine, engineering, and forensic science. Within those subject areas, we encourage them to find leaders that have made an exceptional footprint in that field, whether it be someone well-known or someone in their personal lives. And we've seen these presentations or these projects be done in many different ways, in an essay form, collage, through a poem. So any creative way your scholar would like to express their thoughts and ideas, we welcome them. Let's see, do we have any other questions? Dress code. All right, so let's address the dress code. Once again, our dress code for both our students and staff includes navy, blue, khaki, or white. Scholars are able to wear any combination of those colors as long as the clothing items are solids. We do this for a couple of reasons. Number 1, to kind of promote professionalism within our program. It also helps us identify our students as Pathway students along with the name badges that they wear. It allows students as well to recognize what group belongs to them and what group may be another group that is on campus with us. Once again, logos don't necessarily need to be within that color scheme. So if you have a solid navy blue shirt that has a red logo on it, that shirt is completely allowed, and we encourage you to bring that. And once again, we highly, highly encourage parents to label the tags of each of the clothing items the students are bringing with them to the program. Can scholars bring computers? We encourage scholars not to bring computers. Scholars, if computers are brought to the program, it is completely the responsibility of the scholar to keep up and maintain it. So should anything happen to the computer, we will not be liable for the incident. We do encourage, once again, for scholars to bring their cell phones so that they can reach out to families. And we've also seen scholars bring iPads if that is the method that will be used in order to contact families. Do we need to bring spending money? Scholars will not need any additional money for the week. All meals will be provided, and we will also be providing snacks in between meals. Scholars will not have access to gift shops. However, when families are on site, both on arrival and departure day, if gift shops are available at the given university, feel free to visit and purchase what you like. And once again, beforehand, if you would like to buy paraphernalia with Envision logo, you can visit our online store at envisionexperience.com. So if at night, if a scholar has to go to the bathroom, do they have to call a staff member? The answer is yes. To maintain 100% accountability of where every scholar is, we do instruct them to call the overnight number if they have to go to the bathroom. And this really is specific to sites that have dorms with communal bathrooms. Some sites will have bathrooms that are within the dorm, and some will have the communal. And so we do encourage scholars to call a night SR person to escort them to the bathroom. And if they are unable to get a hold of someone, our staff do walk the halls every 30 minutes to ensure there are no needs from scholars. Next question I have here is, will there be a television in the scholar rooms? There will not be televisions in any of the scholar rooms for any of the dorms that we are staying in, with the exception of the National 4-H Center. The dorms that are designated for us on these college campuses come pretty bare. And so we encourage you all, if you would like to make that home away from home a little bit more livable for your scholar, have them bring a few knickknacks from home that they find comforting, whether it be a stuffed animal. It's okay to bring a poster if you like to add some decor to your room to make it seem more homey. We do encourage some of that to happen. Is it too late to sign my child up for an overnight stay if they are only enrolled in the day program at this point? The answer to that is that the Office of Admissions can definitely assist in identifying if there are residential spaces still open for the given sessions. So while some of our sessions are at capacity already and those are residential sessions are closed, if there are openings, our admissions team will work closely with us as the program managers to determine if spots can become available. What are the meal times like? So, as I mentioned earlier in the presentation, at no point are scholars without an adult, except for when they are in their rooms at night with themselves and their roommates. So during the meal times, our scholars do eat with their group as well as with their advisor. Is breakfast provided for day scholars? At this point, breakfast is not provided to any of our day scholars. So we encourage you all to ensure your student, if you have a commuter or what we call day student, we encourage you to make sure they have breakfast, and they will be participating in lunch with the program while they're at the session. For the day program, can we send the student with the lunch from home? You definitely can. We encourage that if student is more comfortable eating a packed lunch, please bring that, but please ensure that there are no peanut products included. What is the residential to commuter student makeup? So currently, as it stands, generally there is about a 70 to 30% makeup of 70% residential students, 30% day students. Do scholar shoes have to be navy blue or white? Scholar shoes can be any color that they like, as long as they are comfortable and as long as the students can walk long distances and play in them. What time are scholars done for the day? Our curriculum begins each day at 8:30 and it ends at 5:30. Are students required to set their own alarms, or is the staff member there to wake them up each day? That is a great question. Part of the experience with Pathways is to encourage independence and self-sufficiency. So that is one of the challenges we put on our scholars, is to be able to pick out their own clothes, set their alarms, and be ready by the time our scholars are there to pick them up in the morning. So the answer is yes, they will be required to set their own alarms, and can bring alarms or use their phones to do so. How are teams divided, and do these team members sleep in the same dorm? Are the dorms gender dependent? Of course. We call our student groups STEM groups, and we do our best to group students by age. Now, the group that your student is a part of does not impact the roommate that your student has. So your scholar's roommate could be from a completely different STEM group, or they could be in the same STEM group. It all depends. How will I know how my scholar is doing throughout the week? Each day, parents will receive an email indicating the events that the student will participate in throughout the day. Our teams also do our best to capture photos throughout the day that will be posted on the photo platform that you will receive more information about in the coming weeks. That looks like all of the questions we have at this point. Once again, if any of your questions were not addressed during this presentation, please reach out to our Office of Admissions and they will be able to assist you with any questions or concerns you may have. Once again, thank you all for participating and we look forward to working with you all this summer. Good night.